everybody. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Sadie Has Friends. That's right. I slipped it in there, a brand new name. New year, new me. I know we're a little bit early, but it's fine. Before we get started with today's episode, which I'm so excited for you to hear, I want to remind you to hit that automatic download, or if you're watching on the YouTube channel, go ahead and click that subscribe. That way you're able to be updated anytime there's new content or bonus content that comes out. So before we get started again, I have to thank the amazing folks at Garage Door Service and Sales, garagedoorserviceandsales.com. If you're like me, I love going onto Pinterest and I love Pinteresting things that I just think, damn it, I need this for my home. And you know what? Like once you get started down this Pinterest rabbit hole with garage doors, it just becomes this like unhealthy addiction. And before you know it, you're dreaming about garage doors. I'll tell you my dream: matte black with a little bit of glass, but still like classic, sleek, clean. No matter what you're looking for, you can get it at Garage Door Service and Sales, locally owned and operated, family owned and operated. Go see my friend Patrice, garagedoorserviceandsales.com. It's a good idea. That's a good idea. I sound like a porn star. Do you think I should go into like just voice porn?
Right.
Because
exactly.
I think I could.
You
Just
could.
after hearing that about how good I am, just repeating that phrase. Okay, well, this is a perfect time to pick up because you're there. You're here. Say hello.
Ever.
Oh, motherfucker. Hang on. Give it a minute. Okay, now you're good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, as I always say when I start these podcasts, I feel like we're on borrowed time because I hate to get to like the 20-minute mark and then have it just be like squeak squawk. It doesn't work anymore. And there's an internet issue. And so you get what I'm talking about. So we're situated right now.
We're good.
And I have to say, I'm going to start off by saying thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Sadie Has No Friends. And Casey is one of my oldest friends. Actually, no, Casey, I changed the name. I got to remember I changed the name. It's Sadie and Friends. It's Sadie and Friends. And I'm reminded of that because you, Casey, are a longtime friend of mine.
Oh, a long time.
Like so long. Like we were teenagers, right?
Yeah, like slopping them tacos at Taco Bell.
Can I tell you that anytime someone brings up Taco Bell, I'm like, damn, I love that job. I look back at working at the gas station Taco Bell in Wellington, Colorado, off of the interstate as maybe my most fun job that I'd ever done.
Absolutely. You know, I worked there, so I went from the Taco Bell and then over to the gas station, and I worked there for 5 years.
I know.
I'm like, bro, you got to grow up. Like, this $8.25 an hour is not cutting it.
I know, but like it was such a fun environment that you were just like, ah, shit, the pay's terrible, but you can eat as many chalupas as you want as long as Brad and Lisa, the owners, weren't around.
Exactly.
And we were kind of living the life. It's kind of one of those things where it's like you didn't know you were living the life until you look back on it and go, damn.
Yep. Nope, for sure. Like, I would probably do it again because
I think
so
I would
much
too.
easier.
I know growing up is the worst. So Casey is my host or my co-host today. You're actually my guest. I'm going to be interviewing you because Casey, I have known you for so long and I've kind of in a way watched you from afar, not to sound like a creepy creeperson, but you are so interesting to me because when we originally met, you know, we were kids, we were slopping the tacos. It was during the Jar Jar Binks where we had to hawk that shit. And I remember I spent an entire shift just scratching off to try to win like some Star Wars memorabilia. how old
Yes.
we are.
Yes. For sure.
But we actually also know each other because you have a son the exact same age as Cooper.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I always knew you as like, look at that. We had a son together, we had kids at the same time. And so tell me a little bit about your family life around the time where, our kids were together in school.
Um, Gosh, there was so much going on in life then. Um,
Is there a better place to start?
yeah, like I guess going back, like even as a kid, you know,
Okay.
was was tough growing up because um, I'm very big into the rodeo world and Western, everything like that, and so I guess where we're getting at is me coming out to everybody. Um,
Yeah. That you're
Shocking
gay.
surprise. Yeah. So
Casey's gay. He used to work at the Taco Bell gas station.
no more
And
tacos for me.
I, oh God. I like where we're going with this.
Yep.
No more tacos for him. He was not interested in any more tacos. And I remember I had no idea. I mean, were you married at the time? I know you had a spouse at the time, but I had never really got to know her.
Yeah. No, I did get married. So like I say, growing up, like in that world, like being gay was not.
When did you know you were gay?
Oh, when I was a little kid, for sure. Like for sure, I knew. And I remember, my sister and their friends, and I'm like, okay, well, but it wasn't okay, to be gay, and just the whole genre of rodeo and the Western lifestyle and all that, stuff. Like, you
And
know,
I think that, following you like a psycho on social media and kind of seeing you do all the rodeo stuff, you are so involved in all of that lifestyle, which
yeah,
isn't really always accepting
right.
of the gay community. And so I was always like, God, Casey is such a baller because he goes out there and he just doesn't give a shit. He posts about his boyfriend. I mean, tell me that had to have been a hard transition because was your family, did they have any idea?
No, they didn't. But then on the other hand, like when I came out to them, like my mom and sister stuff like that were like, well, like we kind of thought, but like you duped us all because you got married and had kids.
Yeah, you fool. So when you got married, did you know fully? You knew fully. So do you feel bad about that? Is that something you've had to kind of like deal with?
I do feel bad to my ex-wife, but we're really good friends still.
Yeah,
Like,
I know you guys are on good terms, so we can
yeah.
discuss this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like we joke about it now, like, like just little jokes, whatever. Like, oh, did this person do this? And I'm like, I don't know, but I duped you once. It was a joke, though. It's just a joke at
Yeah.
this, like, but
So tell me how she found out. How did that come out that the man that she married and she had kids with, psych, was gay?
right. So we got divorced before I came out, and I didn't come out even for another couple years. Um, to anybody close to me. Like I had hung out with some guys and whatever, like, is this really who I am? Or is, like
That like
people will
that's
be
a
like,
scary step to take, you
for
know?
sure, absolutely, and so I did, I came out, um, and then, it kind of got back to her a little bit. Like people were like, I think he's gay because he's hanging out with this guy. And she was like, whatever, whatever. And then like I came out to her and she was like, well, that's awesome. Like that you can be yourself now.
What did she say? Like I kind of knew there was
No,
always a part of me. No.
no. Like,
I was shocked as well when I found out. I'm like, nah, Casey, are we talking
correct.
about the same Casey here?
Right. Yeah.
That Casey? And I was like, damn, all right, boy.
Right. No, like really everybody was pretty shocked like when I came out. Like I
Yeah.
said, the rodeo world at that point of me rodeoing and roping and stuff like that, I was pretty at the highest peak of my career, I guess, like roping wise. I'd been winning a ton. I made it to the big finals out in Vegas, the World Series finals. Um, and out there kind of was like my turning point of like, you're doing so well, like you're so scared of these people knowing and finding out, but if they don't accept you for who you are, like, then they're not good friends. They're not good
And it
people.
has to,
Yeah.
I mean, not to interrupt you, but it
Yeah.
has to be exhausting
Oh,
to
it's
kind of play
absolutely
the role of somebody that you're not. You're
right.
just not.
For sure. It was really hard. And it was my whole life. It was like, you know, I knew who I was, but I couldn't be that person. And it was terrifying. Um,
Did you
you know,
try to push it away and not think about it?
absolutely. And my parents were divorced when I was young. My dad was very religious. Truthfully, my grandpa tried to shoot my uncle because he was gay when he came out to him.
Okay, so
Um,
there no fear there for very welcoming situation
right,
for
exactly.
your
So
uncle's like, don't say anything.
no, yeah, I know. So I didn't, so I really was scared. I was like, forever.
Yeah.
So I just, yeah.
So what pushed you? Okay, so can I ask you, a lot of times people are pushed because maybe they meet somebody and they're like, "You know what? I want to share this person with the world and have like a normal." Did that push you, or did something in particular happen where you were just, was it the rodeo going to Vegas where you're like, "Fuck it. I'm just going to start telling people."
Yeah, like I did meet somebody. Um, like we both were pretty closeted about things. Like we were just bros. He like hung out with the team ropers with me and stuff like that. Like it was just, everybody thought we were just friends. Um, but I just, it really hit me like how scary it was for me to, hide this and everything like that. It just made me really think like, what other kid, or whatever is out there struggling with this, and going through this living hell of you can't be who you are and you can't be who you love. You can't love who you want to love. And just because of, an industry, say, the Western industry, like
Yeah.
there's not gay guys out there really. There are in other disciplines of it, but like as far as like a team roper, like, oh, we're tough and the gay jokes always at the ropings, like,
I was going to say, like, do you get a lot of shit? Do you catch a lot of shit?
so truthfully, like when I came out, like I was like, fuck it. I just came out on Facebook to everybody.
You were
Um,
just like, "I'm gay. Fuck it."
yeah,
Were you scared? Did you take a minute before you pushed post? Were you like,
a-
"I don't know."
absolutely. And where I was working at the time, it was a religious company, and I'm like, I could lose my job, and I'm like, there's so much to lose right now, but there's so much to gain for myself.
Yeah.
Um, but also for other people. It's okay to be you. So we came up with the slogan like, "Do you be you?"
Mhm.
And just you don't have to like there's help out there if you need it. I was what
You were in
37 years old.
But I feel like you were so lucky because not only, I mean, it seems like your family was kind of like, yeah, we kind of knew. And it seems like your ex wife was pretty chill about the whole
Yeah.
situation. And so I think you're lucky. What advice would you give to the people who aren't as lucky? I mean, that's a scary thing. And on top of that question, I want to ask, do people in the rodeo community, in the country community, does anyone come to you kind of on the down low and say, "Hey, I kind of feel like I can tell you things that no, you
Yes.
won't say"?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. They have. I've had individuals, I've had parents come talk to me about it, that they think their kid is. What advice, would I give them? You know, e- Everybody's journey of coming out is different, and it's all on their timing and what's right for them. Um,
Right.
so same thing with mine. I was terrified. With the boys. Colton
With your
Wood.
sons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very terrified of that. Like they would catch flack. Um, my oldest boy, he caught some flack like the first week of school, and then we were at football the next week, and everybody's like, "Dude, that's so awesome! Your dad's gay." Like,
Yeah, like I don't think that it's as big of a deal as it once was, but again, I was always fascinated because I was like, I wonder if Casey in that kind of genre of life catches a lot of shit from people because these are tough rodeo guys. They're just, I mean, and you're right there in the thick of it. You're holding your own, you're kicking ass,
yeah,
you're winning awards, and you're just so unabashedly you. Like, did it take you a while to get to that comfort level?
for sure. It did, but to a point. Like when I came out, like the grass was greener, like the sky was blue. It was gorgeous. Like you could just see a whole different world that you just weren't. I mean, I hate to say the word, like in the closet, in the dark. It was like
Yeah.
I don't care walking down the road, that somebody knows I'm gay. Like I mean, I'll do a podcast. Like I've done interviews before with it. Like it just I don't care. I don't care what people think.
Because I have to say, I went back and forth. I'm like, well, what if he is uncomfortable? What if he doesn't want to? And you were so cool. You were so open. You're like, absolutely. And you even mentioned like if there's a kid out there that might hear this or a parent who is unsure and I can help. I mean, you're just one of my favorite people. I adore you, Casey. And
I
so
I appreciate it.
um
And like I don't push it like on anybody either. Like that's my thing. Like, you don't see pictures of me on Instagram, or out in public or anything like that. Like we're, not affectionate and stuff like that. Like that's our thing, what we do. It like most couples, like privately, but
yeah.
um just in general, like, the grass is greener. Like don't be scared. It is terrifying, and I understand it. And I've lost a few people in my life.
I was going to say, what was the blowback? I mean, you had a mostly positive experience, but I
Yeah,
mean, there had to have been some casualties in that confession.
there was some people in the rodeo world. um Truthfully, I did lose my relationship with my father. um
Mm.
but that was okay, because if he wasn't going to accept me for who I am, I mean, it's not like I'm showering in rainbows and sparkles, and nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's different on his beliefs, and he made it known, and obviously it ran in that family with my grandpa and my
I know
uncle.
you're like, how close to your father are you, Dad, before I begin to tell you
Right.
this secret?
Yeah, I got really drunk and told him.
I was gonna have to say, were you drunk at any point? Because I think that to me, people are like, you should never do that. I'm like, hell no, you need that liquid courage.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
so, yes, yes. So
Yep.
you got drunk and you thought, now, before you told your dad, did your mom and sister know? And they were like, do it. You got to do it.
Yeah. Well, my mom and my sisters were like, "Oh God, telling your dad, it's
Hide
it's
the
gonna be the
gun.
end," and I'm like, "Meh, whatever." Like you you can't make everybody happy in life, and I knew that going into it, that I would probably lose, my relationship with my father, but I'm at peace with that. If he doesn't accept me for I'm the same person.
Yeah.
But I have been my whole life, and but apparently that's not okay to him. But whatever, so
Yeah, but you
he
have
was
so many other people who love you. And
for
I
sure.
really do think in situations like that, there will be an awakening. And I hope it's not, on his deathbed where he's like, fuck, I wasted so many fabulous years with this beautiful human being. And because of something so trivial that,
Yeah.
I mean, I find it incredibly trivial, but how do you handle the backlash when you are on the rodeo circuit? Like, I mean, if you do catch a comment, or if you do, are you, do you respond, or how do you respond to something like that?
Truthfully, it's only happened twice. Um,
Well, that makes
oh,
me happy
yeah.
because I
Um,
always worry about you. I do secretly from afar, Casey, like a fucking creep. I'm like, oh, okay, he's going to do a show. I'm gonna keep my eye on him.
no, you're good. No, it literally has been like, one was a drunk guy, and he just started dropping some stuff, and I just kind of let him have it back. I'm like, dude, that's, you know, you're
So
entitled
you
to your.
do fight back.
Hell yeah, I do.
You do? See, I feel like walk away. Just be like,
No,
you're drunk, you asshole.
no, no, I've got a temper. I'm like, no, you're good. We're gonna
Now
clap
I'm
here
gonna
a little
get you,
bit.
buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the drunk guy, and then what happened the second time?
It was somebody we know mutually.
We do? I
Yeah,
think we're thinking of the same person.
yeah. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and she was, I mean, bluntly in front of everybody was like, "You so and so," and I was like, "Well, that's cool." And she
You can
recorded
say it.
me.
It's a podcast. You can say whatever the fuck you
No,
want.
she,
She say you, what did she say to you?
she's like, "You fucking faggot," and
She
I was,
said that?
yeah, and she recorded it. It's out there. Apparently, she
She
thinks,
record What are you talking about? You guys got in a fight and she pulled out her phone?
yeah, like she was recording me as I'm like walking out, and I was like, "Do you want to take a picture? Like, what the fuck?" And she's like, "Get out of here, you fucking faggot!" And I'm like, "All right, bitch. Like, gloves are off."
Oh, hell no.
So I
What'd you
gave her.
do? What can you do? Because you can't beat a girl up, even though,
No, no, but like, eh, I
do you
mean, I
want me
just
to
shoot her.
beat her up for you,
No,
Casey? Because I
she's
will.
not. She's not worth it. She's not worth. I just laugh so hard about it anymore now. I'm like, oh god, and but whatever. And you don't see her at any barrel races anymore because nobody cares, nobody likes her, and that was a pretty big reason for that. It's because a lot of people seen that, and they put the cold shoulder up to her, like, screw
Just
you.
that level of hate is
Yeah,
just so gross.
yep, for sure. So
For sure.
yeah, so she's a peach.
So I love you. And I know we're thinking about the same person. So one of the last questions that I wanted to ask you, because I did find it interesting. I do know for a while you were dating a gentleman. You were dating him for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then that did not work out. And we don't have to go into it.
Oh, I'll tell
But
you everything if you want to know. No, I'm just kidding.
okay, well, let's go. Tell me. Because I did, you know what? I became like Facebook friends with this fella, and I
Yeah,
like, he was very nice, and we would chat back and forth about shows and about concerts, and I
yeah.
was like, just take care of my boy, and then that didn't work out. That was a little shocking to me.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of to all of us, like there at the end. Like, I mean, kind of like he
Yeah.
he embezzled a ton of money from a company that he didn't even have ownership in. That yeah,
Oh
and it
no.
yeah, and it was just like this downward spiral, and I was like, oh God, run, run. So
Yeah, it's good you got out of that. Are
yeah,
you with someone now?
I am. I've been with Jeff for about 3 years now. So
Can I post pictures for the YouTube channel of you and Jeffrey?
sure, Jefferson, Jeffy,
Jefferson? Jeffy? Um, Casey, thank you so much for coming on and talking to me.
of
And
course.
again, this is something that I've wanted to talk to you about, but
Yeah,
you never, excuse me, I keep hiccuping. You never know how people are going
for
to
sure.
want how to react,
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
think I've just always admired, because this is, the country folk, the rodeo folk, it can be a tough crowd. It can be like an insanely accepting and loving crowd, but
Yeah.
I could also see it being really difficult to come out to. And so
Sure.
I've kind of watched your journey through it, and you're just kind of a badass. So
I
thank you
just,
for,
I'm like, whatever. And it's the same thing with business owners, like, I don't tell people that I'm gay. Like, I'm not like, oh, well, me and, my partner, like, nothing like that. Like, 'cause I don't want them to be like, well, you're fired because you're gay. Like, bro, I want your money to kill your bugs. So
yeah,
I'm not
like
gonna
I
tell
literally feel like I've never thought of you, like you're not, you and your spouse, from what I've seen on social media,
yeah,
you guys seem like you're just two dudes hanging out together. There's
for
none
sure.
of that. It's not like two
Romance.
Wong Fu love. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I would love it
Sparkles
if
and
you busted
rainbows.
that out,
No.
but you guys don't. You're just,
No.
you're super down to earth, just like any other couple. So,
Yeah.
Casey, and also Casey's Pest Control Services. Maybe you've heard me talk about this handsome fella before. I'll always endorse you, Casey.
Same.
Always
Same.
and forever. And thank you for coming on
You
and
bet.
telling your story, because I think it's fascinating.
I appreciate it. And like I say, it's everybody's journey, their own journey. So just do you be you.
And reach out to Casey maybe if you have any questions or concerns, or maybe you're in a situation that you're unsure about. He's incredibly positive, and he's got the experience to talk. He's walked the walk.
I have. I don't
Thanks,
want to go with
Casey.
experience.
Well, I mean, listen, he's not a hoe or anything, but he'll help you out.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Hey, wait, one more thing. I saw this on Oprah, Casey, like, God, so long ago, back when Oprah was on. And she had a guy on there, and they were talking about the DL.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, a lot of men are on the DL, which, from what I understand, Oprah, is that's the down low. That means that a man is sneaking away, and he secretly lives this other life as a gay man. And there's like, is that true? Is that as big of a thing
Abs-
as Oprah made it to be?
Absolutely. It really is.
What?
Yeah. Like,
Shit.
well, and that guy that got drunk and he yelled at me,
Yeah.
I was like, bro, you're probably going to hit somebody up on Grinder later anyway. Like,
Right.
they are out there. Like, it is, yeah.
How do you
But
know? Is there Facebook pages, secret text? Give me the dirt on the gay underground. Because here's my thing. I think every wife is like, wouldn't that be fucked up if you found out your husband was going to these underground gay parties? I mean, I
yeah,
would just want to know. I would just want to know. So where
for
can
sure.
we look?
I'm a very good investigator. So if
You
anybody
can't.
has any questions, just,
Okay, so if you think your husband or
I
boyfriend might
take
be on the
Venmo.
DL, all you got to do is hire my friend Casey, and he'll do a deep dive, and he will make sure he answers the questions
You
for
could
you.
literally ask any of my closest friends are like, dude, you're the best at that. I'm like, I know.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Okay.
Casey's Pest Control Services.com. That's who you're going to be dealing with. One of the best people ever, and a caring business owner, and just a beautiful human being. And so
Thank you.
thank you for talking to me, and
Thank you.
we'll talk later.
Sounds
I'm
wonderful.
going to text you. Not if I
I
think Ryan's on the DL, but other things.
no, he's not.
We're going to gab.
I'm
Oh,
just
he's not? You already know? That makes me
I'm
feel
just kidding.
okay. Goodbye, friend.
Bye.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode of Sadie Has No Friends. Be sure to reach out if you have any comments, or maybe you want to just say something about an episode that you thought. Maybe you have a question. Maybe you want to do Tell All Tuesday and you have an issue that you are dealing with. No matter what it is, all you have to do is just go to our social media, Sadie and Friends, and you can leave me a message. Before I sign off, I just want to thank our incredible sponsors, Christiana Salon Spa. Mention the podcast, and you're going to get 20% off your treatment, whether that's your hair or whether that's a massage. Is that a facial? What do you feel like today? What kind of day has it been? Because let me tell you, today for me, it's been a hot stone massage day. So I will call Christiana Salon and Spa. Just go to christianasalonspa.com. And again, mention the podcast for 20% off. Also, big thank you to Casey's Pest Control Services. That's Casey'sPestControlServices.com for all those creepy crawly things. Ooh.